Hi, modern fashion designers. Welcome back to class. This is Modern Woman Apparel. I want to say a very big thank you to all my returning subscribers. And if this is your first time here, you're very much welcome. Please join us by hitting on the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so as to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you. So, guys, in today's class, you're going to be making these beautiful dresses you see on the screen. So in this class, I'm going to be showing you how to make this backless halterneck flared dress with a fitted neck band and also with a rope. So if this looks like what you're here to watch, kindly stay tuned to the end of this video. So we are going to be using these two fabrics for this, but we are going to be using one to illustrate the cutting and the other will come in when we are going to be making the neckline. First thing first, our special hug for today goes to two of our amazing members, Sonny, Sophia, and Rosie Udo. Thank you so much, ladies, for your support and for joining us. We love you. To put our fabric on fold, we are going to be folding this unbiased. Of course, you know this is a flare gown, so we are going to be folding it unbiased. Now, look, this part here, you can see this is the yardage side, where we have these hairs like this free, the frame part. This is the yardage part, and of course you know the length part. Now I'm going to be folding on the yardage part. So this is the yardage part, right? Now we are going to be folding from the yardage part. So here's what we are going to do. Just keep the yardage part as straight as it can be, and then you're just going to move the length part to it. You get? So this is how to put your fabric on fold. Now if you're making a shorter length of 32, 33, 2 yards is just okay, but above that you may be needing 3 yards or 2.5 based on the length. The yardage is determined by the length of your gown. I'm cutting length 39 and I'm going to be using 2.5 yards of this fabric. So guys, after folding, this is what I have. So this is the tip of what we are working with. So guys, the first thing we are going to be doing is to come down from the tip here by 3.5 inches. So this is constant for all sizes as long as you're an adult. Now after coming down here by 3.5 inches, just take it all around. Can you see what I'm doing? And just connect your line. Now what we are going to do after that will be to take the length of the gown. So for this I'm going to be making use of 39 inches. Depends on the length that you want to use. So from this 3.5 inches mark, I'm going to come down by 39 inches. So I'm just going to take it all around, just the way we take our flea measurement. So just continue from the 3.5 inches to take the length of the gown. So you can see what I'm doing. And when you shift to the other point, and after everything, all you need to do is to connect the points together as shown. Right now what we are going to do is to cut out the length after taking the markings. So go ahead and cut out the length and also cut out the point of the 3.5 inches from the tip. So guys, after cutting out this first panel, what we are going to do is to put our fabric on fold again, just the way we folded this first one, and we're going to be placing this first one on the second one to cut out exactly what we have here. Now right now what we are going to do is to place our fabric again the exact way we did during the first cutting. So all you have to do is to locate the yardage part, and after laying the yardage part straight, now take the length part and flip to it to form a triangular shape. So this is what we have. Now what we are going to do after this is to take the first panel that we have already cut out and place on top of it to cut out exactly what we have on the first panel. As you can see, I have cut out the tip. The next place to cut out will be the length. So following what we already have there, you cut out the length of the gown. So guys, after cutting, you can see what we have. So these are the back and front panels together. Now the next thing we are going to do is to alter this. So we are going to be altering the back and also altering the front to get the armhole. like you already know, the back is backless, right? And for the front there will be an halterneck. So we are going to go ahead now and alter the front and the back. So guys, the first place we'll be working on is the armhole. So from the tip here, we are going in by 10 inches. Like I told you, this also works for all sizes except for children. You know, this is for an adult, right? So this is 10 inches. What we are going to do is to come in with our curve ruler, and we are going to connect from here to the 10 inches. Before you connect, at this point, you just have to check what you have here. Do you understand? If you want the halter neck part to be so slim, let's say 5 inches, from here you go in by 2.5. You know, this is on fold, and you connect into the 10 inches. If you want it to be 6 inches, you do 3 inches and connect to the 10 inches. Do you understand? So I want this to be 6 inches, but I'll be adding half inch for folding. So this is what I have now. So from here, I'm going to be connecting down to the 10 inches. Connect down to the 10 inches this way. After that, what you do is to cut out the armhole. Now I cut out the armhole of both the front and the back because the panels are together. You can also go ahead and separate the panels before working on the armhole. After cutting out the armhole, all you need to do is to lift the front from the back panel, and that same 10 inches we took as the armhole. Now you're going to start from the tip. Now we're working on the back part, so start from the tip and also take the same 10 inches all round. Do you understand? So just take the same 10 inches all round. After taking the markings, connect the points together to form an arc, and you're going to cut that part off. For those that may be wondering if the 10 inches will not be too high for the back, do not worry. I already have an answer to your question in this video. Just continue watching, you will see what to do. So guys, this is what we have after cutting. So you can see the back panel and also the front panel. So right now we are going to start stitching, and for us to start, we're going to start working on the front armhole with our bias tape. So go ahead and tidy the armhole, the two armhole, with your bias tape. After working on the armhole, this is what we have here, as you can see. Now the next thing to do will be to work on the back part. So what you're going to do is, on this waistline of the back, go ahead and weave, and after weaving, use half inch to just fold it once. So guys, right now please pay attention, because I already told you that we have the answers to the questions that you may have right in this video. Now for those that want their back part to really come down to their waistline, all you need to do is to increase the length or the width of the elastic. Now I'm making this for a bust of 42, and she does not want the lower part to be shown because she's going to be wearing a strapless bra, which means that this has to be high in order to conceal the back part of her bra. Now I'm going to be using 11 inches. Do you understand? This way to be firm around her. But if I want it to be lower than the bra length area, I want it to come down to her waistline, the back part to come down to her waistline, what I will do is to add 5 inches to that 11 inches, which will make it 16 inches. So for you who is between the size of 37 and below, please use 9 inches for it to be firm. And if you want it loose, lower to the waistline, please add 5 inches to the measurement. For 44 and above, use 13 inches for it to be firm, and if you want it to come down to the waistline, add 5 inches to it, and it will give you exactly what you want. So what I will do next is to cut out 11 inches for the elastic and insert it into this half inch channel that we have created at this back part. After inserting the elastic into the channel, all you need to do is to secure the two ends of the elastic, and the next thing we are going to do now is to bring in the front, and we are going to be attaching the sides. So starting from the armhole of the front, all you need to do is to place the front and the back right side facing each other, and you're going to be stitching with your half an inch from the armhole down. So you're going to do that on both sides. So guys, here's what we have after joining. The next thing we are going to do now will be to cut the band, and like I told you earlier, we are going to be learning how to do both the band and the rope. So for this, we are going to be cutting the band first, and we are going to come back to the rope later. So all you need to do is, while taking the measurement, the length of your client, go ahead and also take the circumference of the neck for the band. For the gown with rope, you just do not need the circumference of the neck. The next circumference I'm working with is 17 inches, and I'll be adding 1 inch to it for side joining, and that will make it 18 inches. So we're going to be keeping this fabric aside and work on the neck part. Now what I also did here is to put my paper, so you can also decide to cut this directly on your fabric, but I'm going to be using paper for us to understand it better. So you put your paper on bias, just the exact way you cut your fabric. Now what you're going to do is to divide the neck circumference. Remember that in this case we are using 18 inches, right? So we are going to divide the 18 inches by 6.28, and whatever we have as the answer, we multiply it by 4. This is 18 divided by 6.28 times 4, and we'll have 11.5 inches. So this is the radius of what we are working with. This is not the length of the collar. This radius here is going to give us the width, which is the 18 inches. So what we are going to do now is to come down from this tip here by 11.5. Can you see? Just take the 11.5 mark, and after that just connect all the dots together. And after you have done this, you now determine the length of your neckband. For this, I'm going to be using 1.25 as the length of the band. Depends on how high or low you want it to be. Can even be 1.5. Depends on how you want it, and I'll connect. Now you see the radius here that we did, the first line that we took. So for you to know if this first line is accurate, all you need to do is to divide the neck circumference by 2. So in this case we are working with 18 inches, so I'm going to divide the 18 and I'll have 9 inches. So I'm going to measure from here to here. Can you see? I have my 9 inches, which means that what we are working with is the accurate figure. So this is how you go about it. So after getting the length of the band, what we are going to do is just to add ½ inch here for joining. So ½ inch on the lower part and ½ inch on top. Can you see? And I'm going to cut this out. Right now we are going to be transferring our pattern to fabric, and all you need to do is also to place your fabric on bias and cut out 2 pieces of it on fold, one for the lining and one for the main fabric. If you're a beginner, please take note of how I place the paper. You can see that the center of the paper is also matching the center of the folded fabric. And do not forget to make use of your pin. Pin your paper to your fabric. After cutting out the first one, also cut out the second one. Remember I told you earlier that you need 2 pieces on fold. One that will serve as the main fabric and the other will serve as the lining. So guys, after cutting, this is what we have. Now the next thing we are going to be doing is to attach this to sew it with each other. But before we do that, we are going to be bringing in our dress and we'll measure the neckline of our dress. Now what I have here, remember, is 6 inches on the neckline here. The next thing is to put the collar on fold and mark half of the 6 inches, which is 3 inches, and notch that part. After notching, I'll open up the collar and place the 2 collars right side facing each other, and from that 3 inches notch I made, I'm going to stitch all around and stop on the other point of the 3 inches. So after joining, the next thing to do is to turn it over to the right side and give it a press. Now while ironing, remember there is a space, the 6 inches space for the neckline that we left. So all you're going to do is to fold in ½ inch, the ½ inch seam allowance. You have to fold it in with your iron, and the next thing to do will be to bring in your front part, and you're going to be fixing the neckline of the bodice into the space that we have on the collar, and you're just going to be top stitching on it. After joining at the two ends of the collar, I'm going to be attaching my hook, and I can also use press button, husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever you feel you are okay with, just use it. After working on the collar, what I'll do is to weave every part that needs to be weaved. Also weave the hemline and fold it with my half an inch. So guys, if you want this to have a rope instead of a fitted band, all you need to do is to weave the neckline. So you can see I use the neckline, and after that I use half an inch to hem the neckline. I also made a rope of half an inch width. So I'm going to be using my safety pin right now to insert the rope into the channel, to the half an inch channel on the neckline. And after that, I'm going to be top stitching the two ends of the armhole. That part where we have the bias, just to hold the rope in place in order for it not to form a drawstring. Do you understand? Just in case you want the band to be big, you want the band to be as wide as this, something like this. Do you understand? You don't want it to be tiny. The rope that you want to tie, you don't want it to be this tiny. All you need to do is to cut a straight, so you should cut a straight strap like this, and you're going to sew every other part of it and only leave the part you're going to be joining to this. So just like this, let's assume that this is the straight one you have cut exactly like this. So you are going to join every other part and still leave something like this. Do you get? And after you have left something like this, still the same way you're going to join this, just put your fabric in inside of it. Just put your fabric inside of it. Make sure the half inch is going in inside of it. Secure it with your pin, and you're just going to stitch it, and that way you just need to tie it around the neckline. You get? So that is it for this. Right now I'm just going to go ahead and finish off this like I have already explained to you, and I'll come back to show you what we have. So guys, we have come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think about this video. Do you like the speed, or we should go back to our regular way of making the videos? I hope to read your views. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe if you have not done so. I'll see you in my next tutorial. I'm Modern Woman. Bye for now.